Hey guys, Courtney here with Courtney's Customs, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create a hydro dip and glitter and gold leaf foil tumbler. This came out so pretty. I cannot wait to show you guys. I hope you all love it as much as I do, so let's go ahead and dive right in and get started. So I'm starting off with a 20-ounce modern from Maker Flow Crafts, and I have it base painted marshmallow from Collar Shot. I have some painter's tape here, and I'm wanting to tape off like a diagonal direction, and I want to only have my hydro dip in this one certain section. So I'm taping off my diagonal marking here. And I'm really trying to make sure that everything is laying down nice and flat. I don't want any of that hydro dip paint to get out from under the tape. So in the bigger section is where I'm going to be having the hydro dip showing, and then on the other side I'm going to completely cover it up so nothing else is showing. I only want my hydro dip to get on one certain section. Now you can kind of see down there at the bottom of the cup my paint came up a little bit from where I was rearranging my painter's tape. That is totally fine. I ended up just kind of touching that up with some spray paint later, but after I get this completely covered up the way I want it to, I'll be ready to hydro dip it, and I use Marabou Easy Marbles for this process. I love them so much. Now listen, don't be judging my hydro dip bucket. It is covered in multiple layers of paint, but I was actually going to delete this clip, but I really wanted to use it as like a teaching moment here because I did mess up. So I'm just showing you guys the different shades of purple that I'm using of my Marabou Easy Marbles, which I get them from the glitter grind. This water came directly from my garden hose, so it is super cold. You really don't want ice cold water when you're doing this because, as you can see here, whenever I'm sprinkling my marbles down into the water, they shouldn't just stay on top of the water in those dots like that. They should be spreading out. And I kind of thought that as I was going, but I was like, oh, we'll see if I can make it work. It definitely did not work. They should be spreading out more on the water and not just staying in like those little globs. So you can see whenever I go to try to move them around with my popsicle stick, it does not look good at all. So what I ended up doing was putting a heater in front of the water for about 30 minutes, warming it up just enough to work for me, and then I'll go in and try this again. So this time it does come out much better. Now see, whenever I put those inks in there, they spread out in the water instead of just staying in those little globs. So I'm just using different shades of purple and just putting a good bit. I want a lot of the purple to show, not as much white from the base coat. So I am putting quite a bit of each shade of purple in there. And then whenever I am satisfied with how much I have, I'm going to go in with a popsicle stick and kind of like swirl the colors around just to get like that distorted, swirly look. And then I'm going to take my tumbler, go in at an angle, and go in slowly, twist as I go in, and then pull out quickly. And this is what I have. I'm going to let it air dry and then remove all of that tape, and then we can move on to the next step. So it's still a little bit wet, but I am going to go ahead and start removing that tape. Now, I lost a lot of spray paint while removing this tape. Like I said earlier, it's totally fine. I just went in with the same spray paint, touched it up a little bit, making sure not to get any of that spray paint on the hydro dipped section. And now I'm just going to go through with a paper towel and just dab off some excess water. Again, it's very important I am dabbing, not swiping. I just want to make sure that I don't mess up any of that paint. I'm sure it's most of the way dry by now, but just to be safe. So it's the next day. There is no epoxy on this. I hadn't epoxied yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and go in with Mod Podge and a soft makeup brush and put some Mod Podge over the white sections, just the blank sections that we did not do anything with yesterday. And I'm going to cover everything that I have covered in Mod Podge in a really beautiful white glitter from the glitter grind. It's called Diamonds, my absolute favorite white glitter in the world. I love it so much. And then for the bottom here, I'm kind of going to do like a really lazy method. I say it's lazy, but I'm proud of it. What I'm going to do is apply some Mod Podge again to the bottom of the cup. It's like half of the cup from where the other half is hydro dipped. And you can kind of see where I shook my glitter into a pile in the middle. After I apply the Mod Podge, I'm just going to kind of stamp it down into that glitter, and voila, it is covered. I'm going to seal the entire tumbler with Rust-Oleum matte clear enamel and epoxy until smooth, and then come back. Now, after 2 coats of epoxy, I'm coming in with some Tack It Over and Over and these gorgeous gold metallic flakes from the glitter grind. And I'm going to apply kind of like a jagged edge line, I guess, separating the hydro dipped section from the glitter section. I need to buy some more Tack It, but I'm using a very, very, very small amount. I'm just spreading that over the entire line here with a small paintbrush. And then I actually end up kind of like wiping some of that off on a paper towel because it is a bit too much. It really doesn't take a whole lot of this Tack It Over and Over at all to do anything. So I'm just going to wipe some off on a paper towel until I get a nice thin layer. And then once I get that nice thin layer that I'm wanting to achieve, I'm going to stick this in front of my heater for about 20 to 30 seconds, letting it dry. It'll dry completely clear. And then of course we know once it's dry, it's still extremely tacky. So I'll be ready to add the gold flakes after that. So now it is dry but really tacky, and I'm going to take these gold flakes. Be really, really careful with these. They are extremely delicate and they will fly all over the place. If you cough or sneeze, they will go all over the place. So just be super mindful of that. So I'm just taking small pieces and pushing them down onto the sticky portion that I created with that Tack It Over and Over, and pretty much just pushing them flat with my finger. At that point, they're really not going to go anywhere, but I did end up putting a little bit of Mod Podge over it just to be safe, just a really, really thin layer before I added epoxy. So I'm going to do this to this side and then, of course, the other side as well, and then we can move on to a decal. Now it is time for a decal, and this gorgeous, gorgeous decal is from Creative Fabrica. And I do want to give a huge, huge shout out to Creative Fabrica. If you do not have an account with them yet, I'm going to have their link down in the description. They are my go-to place for all of my decals, my backgrounds, my fonts, everything. And they are having a huge, huge savings deal on their yearly subscription right now. So you can get a yearly subscription for $4.99 a month. You get billed for the entire year up front. That is a massive, massive savings compared to the usual monthly, like month-to-month subscription price. So again, Creative Fabrica is my go-to place. I love them so, so much. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of what I do with my tumblers without them. So if you do not have an all access yearly subscription yet, I highly, highly recommend clicking the link in the description and getting yourself set up. I promise you, you will love it, and you can cancel at any time. No questions asked, even though I'm pretty daggone sure you won't want to cancel. How pretty she is after some epoxy. I love this so much. It is simple, but I think it is so, so pretty. And before I go, like always, I do have y'all's cup of positivity for the day, and today's quote is, "Whenever you see darkness, there is extraordinary opportunity for the light to burn brighter." That is all I have for y'all today. I really, really hope you love this as much as I do. If you all have any questions, like always, please feel free to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Be kind, love one another, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!